What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be pretty much a story time on our LD97s, the wheels on the car right now. I'm going to try to keep it short, but it's probably going to be long because I'm summarizing basically a 1-year transaction in this video. I hit up LD97 for wheels March of last year, so it's been an entire year now with LD97. I hit him up to see if he could make me some concave 10 spokes, the wheels that are on the car right now. I had sent him some pictures of some Rohanas, which I wanted, which were the concave 10 spokes, and he said he could make them. At that time, he quoted me, I think, somewhere around $6,800 for the wheels. Pretty pricey wheels. He offered me a partial sponsorship, dropped the price like $900 or something like that. After I decided to do custom center caps, the total for the wheels ended up being somewhere around $5,800. That's $5,700 or $5,800. So not cheap by any means. As you guys know, I had the Voxx replica wheels on here before, and I had spacers, and I've had multiple aftermarket wheels, you know, with different cars in my past. And my goal, you know, was to get custom wheels made for the car to where I won't need spacers, to where the fitment was going to be phenomenal, flush, you know, the wheel flush to the fender line like you see nice modded cars have, right? So that was always my end game. When I started researching wheels, when I was ready to make the purchase between Rohana, Variant, AG wheels, and LD97, the goal was always to get phenomenal fitment, a good price, obviously, and good customer service. You know, the stuff you would ask for in any transaction. So after dealing with the spacers and the Voxx wheels and being ready to actually make the purchase, I did hit up, you know, the 3 companies that I had, or the 4 companies that I had in mind. They all had pretty similar pricing for partial sponsorships, but I went with LD97. Rohana was my runner-up, and in retrospect, I wish I would have went Rohana. I 100% regret choosing LD97. I'll get to later why. Try to put yourself in my shoes. I'm looking obviously for feedback on this, and opinions, thoughts, whatever you guys have to offer. Please leave it down below. But try to picture yourself in my shoes during this whole thing, because it's necessary to kind of understand where I'm coming from. Take this information and do with it what you will. Maybe it'll help you in your choices down the line. Once I chose to go with the LD97, you know, I started looking at their photos and stuff, and I liked the wheel, and like I said, Rich told me he could make the concave 10 spoke. And you know, I started looking at some of his tagged photos. So if you go to the LD97 page, you click on the tag photos on IG, you can see all the wheels that people have had made by him, and you know, the pictures they've tagged him in. And I'm not going to name cars or name names, you know, I'm not trying to bring anybody else's vehicles into this. If you guys offer your input to me in the past and you want to leave it down below here, please do. I'm not going to just start offering people's information out there, but if you look at some of their tags, you'll see not everybody has great fitment. There are some of the Mopars on the tags that don't have, you know, the best fitment. So I kind of understood that going in, that I really wanted Rich personally to measure my car and to really get the best fitment possible, which is wheel to the fender line. Whatever we needed to do to accomplish that as far as offset and sizing, that's what I wanted to do. That's why, you know, I drove down to LA in a previous video that I'll show right here, and I had him personally measure the car out and you know, measure for whatever calculations he needed to calculate for offsets. But from Jump Street, I'll even screenshot it in here, I asked him for as much wheel to the fender line as I could get. And I say this because later down the road, when in this video, that's going to be important, because he tries to say some other reasoning as to why that's not happening. It's basically my fault. So I chose him, and you know, back in March, I think it was like 60% down up front, so a few $1,000s to start the wheel process. And that was, I think, mid to late March is when that happened. At that point, he told me it'd be, you know, he was going to get cracking on the design, and it would take you know, a couple weeks, and then he'd get back to me or whatever. So it kind of went like that for maybe 3 or 4 months of that. Just I'd hit him up, hey man, what's going on? Oh, my guy hasn't had time to get to it yet, you know, oh sorry. And then I'd say, all right, well, I'll hit you up later, I guess, right? So I hit him up another week or two later, hey man, what's going on? Oh, my guy hasn't had time. Oh, I have, you know, I'm having problems with this, moving shops, shows coming up. You know, it was always excuses. And I understand that as a business, other stuff is maybe priority at the time or things come up. But in that case, don't tell me to, or don't tell your customer to, you know, it'll be another couple weeks, or it'll be another week or 3 weeks. Just say, hit me up in 6 months, hit me up in 7 months, or the ETA on these wheels is going to be 6 months, 7 months. You don't need to like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, next week's, like stuff like that, because then I'm on your ass asking when it could just be as easy as, all right man, thanks for the payment, go ahead and hit me back up in 3 or 4 months. And I would have said, all right, shit, that's the way it's supposed to be, because that's what it takes to get custom wheels done. And I would have been fine with that. But that's not how it was. And his communication was bad at that. So I began to get frustrated with interacting with him, because it would be, you know, oh, this or that, and sorry, it didn't happen, and then there were delays and blah blah blah. And the only deadline I had given him from Jump Street was, I wanted the wheels done by October, mid-October, for Race Wars. And these wheels, I paid him in March. So that was 7 months. A long time, I feel like. Again, leave comments down below what you guys think. But it was 7 months. And he told me, yeah, plenty of time. They'd be done in plenty of time. 7 months, that's plenty of time. I was like, all right, cool, shit, nice. So meanwhile, months go on. I ask him still every other week. Shit's not happening. He told me he was going to send me designs once they were done, like 3 or 4 weeks out, so I can confirm them, and then they could start, you know, building the wheels. Didn't get nothing. I was supposed to get called from somebody, never got called, never got text. It got so frustrating. Like, I try to be pretty chill and easygoing, because, you know, I understand, like I said, he's a business, he's got other priorities, obligations, customers, whatever, right? But he just wasn't communicating that what was actually going on to me. So I started to get pissed off and frustrated. And then I was talking to other people in IG about their rim companies and what was going on with their situations, and it kind of got my blood pressure going a bit. So I actually hit him up. I was like, dude, if I don't see something from you, I'm gonna need my money back. Like, this was already probably 3 or 4 months in, and I hadn't seen anything from him. And he had already measured the car out and everything. So I hadn't seen anything. So I was frustrated, dude. I was like, I'm ready to part ways. I'm ready to start with someone new, like somebody who has time for me, somebody who cares about building my wheels for me. So I hit him up. I was like, dude, can I just get my money back? Because if I feel like nothing's really happening. And immediately right after that, he's like, oh, I'll call you, dude. You know, it's just been this and that and the other. And like a day or two later, I got designs. And it was just computer drawings, basically, but of the concave 10 spokes. So that was enough to put my mind at ease a little bit, that okay, he's working on something for me, right? He's working on my property. So then time goes by, Race Wars approaches, and I'm like, hey man, Race Wars is here, you know, it's coming up real soon, they're gonna be done. He's like, yeah, they're gonna be done. And then all of a sudden they ran into problems with the powder coating, and you know, I get it, shit happens, like I said, but he said I'd still have them in time for Race Wars, even with that going on. I ended up not, and I was upset about that, because I had scheduled a photo session with an LA photographer for the new wheels, you know, in LA, and I had to cancel that stuff. And then he told me, as a consolation, he was going to hook me up with one of his videographers to shoot a dope video of the wheels, you know, down in LA at his shop. Never happened. And then, you know, the wheels come, finally, about 7 months later, and you know, I put them on the car, and I was immediately disappointed. After I put them on the car, immediately disappointed. You know, I had bought tires, put tires on these things, that, you know, under the assumption that I took my car to this shop to have it professionally measured, and this business made their calculations according to, you know, however it is they make their measurements in order to achieve, you know, the fitment that I wanted, right? Which was, like I said before, which was the fitment I asked for, which was as much wheel to the fender line as I could get. That was always the goal. And even early on, one of the first messages I sent him, that was always the goal. So I didn't even think about an issue or a problem with my fitment, because he's the man. He's the owner of the shop. That's Rich. He's the owner of LD97. He's personally measuring my car. I'm not going to have a problem with fitment. I'm going to go ahead and throw tires on these things and put them on the car, because I'm that confident that he knows his business and he knows what he's doing. So put the tires on, put them on the car. I was pissed off at that point from then on, because the finish on the wheels I loved. The look of them is phenomenal. But that's it. The fitment is trash. In my opinion, it's trash. I paid $6,000 for wheels that I still have to have spacers on, and I'll show you guys in a little bit what that looks like. But I paid a lot of money. This is the most money I've ever paid for a car part, and to be dealing with this whole situation, which it goes beyond this. It goes beyond me receiving the wheels. So we're talking another 5 months that I'll break down for you. But right now we're at the point where I just got my wheels, right? I took them to a tire shop. He didn't tell me that they had two stem holes. I didn't know that. Never had custom wheels before. He told me he was going to walk me through this whole process when I initially signed up with him. So I get the wheels, have stems put on them, take them home, and then I put my front ones on, and the stems on the inside of the barrel are hitting my Brembo. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you tell me, like, that I needed to have either a flush stem, or I ended up finding out from one of my buddies that you turn the stem inside out, and it's a way to cover that hole so it doesn't interfere with your Brembos. So that's what I had to do. But that was frustrating because I didn't know that. So then I had to waste the trip and waste the time to take the wheels back off the car, take them to the tire shop to dismount the tire, put that shit the way it's supposed to be, get them back, and then get them back to the car. And once I noticed, you know, the stem issue, and I had them on the car, immediately noticed that the fitment was trash. I was missing practically 1 entire inch of wheel from the outer barrel to the fender line. And it's just like, it was unacceptable. And the wheel had completely sunk in. The backs were better, but the backs were still, they were still missing about, I'd say about 8 to 10 millimeters of space. The backs I kind of just made peace with, because 8 to 10 millimeters, if I went with a 325 tire, it would be fatter and fill out more of that void, because I have a 315 on there right now. I mean, I should probably be a little upset about that too, because I don't want to go 325. My goal is always to have this look. So technically I'm missing some millimeters on that, which is, you know, the faces will have to get redone on those, and that's just like a whole other thing, you know. Like, so I made peace with that. I put 5 millimeter spacers on the back because I didn't want to have to deal with LD97 anymore. I don't. So I put spacers on, and I feel like a dumbass spending $6,000 on rims and still having spacers. And that's the smaller spacer in the back. I haven't even gotten to the fact that I have 20 millimeter spacers on the front, and I've had those on the front for the last 5 months. And for the last 5 months, I've been talking to him about getting the outer barrels replaced. And so how that all transpired is I immediately noticed, like I said, the fitment was trash, and I told him, dude, like, we got to fix this. Initially, he didn't say anything about it, and then I had messaged actually another big Mopar guy. I won't say who it is, but another big Mopar guy in the scene, and I asked him about his recently new LD97s, and I told him my problems, and he on the back end talked to Rich. He didn't tell me that, but I know he did, because immediately right after that, the conversation changed, and he was like, oh, he messaged me, hey man, you know, don't stress, don't worry about it, we're gonna do whatever it takes to make this work, we're gonna fix this, don't stress about it. I was like, oh cool, man, you put my mind at ease. So then I called, we talked on the phone, and at that point there's two options, right? At that point he has to take he can either redo the faces on the wheels, which I know he doesn't want to do, or do an outer barrel, which is, I feel like the knuckling under, or the kind of the passive way out. And I'm the one agreeing to it. If it was somebody else, I feel like somebody else would say, dude, take your rims back, redo your faces, because your fitment is not right. Your offsets are wrong. Because that would be the right way to do it. Take the faces, add another 20 probably 23, 24 millimeters up front is what I'm actually missing. Add that to the face of the wheel, and then give me my 20x11 back, instead of me knuckling under and just saying, all right, you know, I'll keep this wheel, let me just get a 1/2 inch of outer barrel, which will give me 0.7, roughly 0.7 inches. So I'm still going to be shy. I'm still going to be missing millimeters in the front, but it's the easier way out, and it's the easier way for me to get out of working with him and the relationship and dealing with him, communicating with them, and all of it, because I'm over it. I'm beyond upset. I'm pissed, and I'm completely over it. And this is a 1 year like argument, dude, and it's just gotten beyond frustrating, and I'm so over it. So that's kind of why I agreed just to do the outer barrel, because it's just a way to get out and be done with it. So that's what he agreed to with me 5 months ago in October. We're in almost April now, and about every week or two, I'll DM him, hey man, what's going on with the lips? Are they coming in yet? And he'll tell me, no, they haven't come in yet. I got 2 or 3 on order for other people also, about 3 or 4 weeks out, or 2 or 3 weeks out, whatever he'll say, some excuse, and he'll let me know or whatever. And that's where it is, because what else am I supposed to do? So then I'll wait another week or two, and I'll ask him again, hey man, what's going on? So this has gone on over and over for the last 4 months. I'll ask him every couple weeks, and it got down to probably, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, where I asked him again, hey man, what's going on with the lips? And he starts to try to almost backtrack out of replacing the outer barrels, and telling me that that just so I know, he's doing me a favor. He's doing me a favor by replacing those outer barrels at his cost, and out of his pocket. And it was essentially my fault, because I changed the tire setup. So for some reference, I never asked him to give me tire to fender. Why would I ask that? Why would anybody want tire to fender? I wanted wheel to fender. If he was confused, he should have asked me, and I would have told him, don't do tire to fender, do wheel to fender. And that didn't make sense in the first place to me. I asked him, even if I put, okay, I'll work with that logic for a moment, and let's just say I put my old tires on these wheels. So right now I have a 285 up front. Let's just say I put my 305s up front. I asked him, I said, hey, if I put my 305s up front, then are you saying it's going to fill that void? No response. Didn't answer it. A 285 to a 305 isn't an entire inch, man. It's not that much. And I never wanted an aggressive tire anyways. Like, I never told him that, so I don't know why he would say that. And then it didn't make sense anyways, because I had 305 3520s all the way around. That same trash fitment that I have up front, I would technically have that same trash fitment in the back if that was the case, because I had 20 by 10.5s all the way around, same tire size all the way around. But that wasn't the case. I was missing about 8 to 10 millimeters in the back, and I'm missing like 20 to 24 millimeters in the front. Big difference. And visually it's huge. You can see it. I mean, I'll put some pictures and stuff. So at that point, I'm just like, you know what? He's trying to BS me, and he's trying to, maybe hoping I go away. I don't know. I don't know what his end game is. All I know is that he agrees to give me outer barrels, and then he's trying to back out of it. And then, this whole thing is taking like 4 to 5 months, and I still got shit. And I'm still unsatisfied with my purchase, and I don't like my wheels. And I don't want to say fake, but I've been fronting that I'm super stoked with these wheels, even though I'm not. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I like the finish, I like the look, but this whole experience with them has left a real sour taste in my mouth about these wheels in general. So it's like almost made me hate my rims, because I associate them with him. And I don't even want these center caps on the wheels anymore. I don't want to promote the brand in any way. I've already told a few people who've asked my opinions on them, what I think in my experience, and I'm honest with it, because I have to be. It's like, why wouldn't I be? Why would I lie about any of this? I'm the one at a disadvantage here. I'm the one that paid $6,000 for wheels, expecting, you know, badass fitment, and then get left with this, and then still waiting for a fix, and it hasn't come. And then, you know, I have some of my friends on IG telling me that barrels should not take that long to get. So then I'm like, well, man, like, I don't understand what he's doing then. So I don't know. Maybe he's hoping I'll go away or forget or not care. I don't know. But I tell you what, I care a lot, and I want this shit fixed. And I even told him, dude, if it's about the money, let me know, and I'll cover some of the costs. Like, I'm even willing to pay more money out of pocket to fix this, because it's that important to me. And you know, you'll see all these cars on his IG, all these Liberty Walk vehicles, and their fitment is money, right? Their fitment is money. Meanwhile, mine and some of the other ones, if you look at his tags, they don't have the best fitment. Why is that? Why don't we all have the best fitment? Or you know, maybe that is the fitment those cars want. Maybe it is. But I know for a fact there's somebody, maybe he'll comment down below, who recently got wheels from them, and his fitment is not that great, and he's upset about it. I don't know how far he's going to take his issue, but I'm talking about mine to anybody who will listen, and because I'm looking for ways to fix it, and I'm looking for help. And you know, I'm ultimately hoping that, you know, some of you guys can relate or understand, or, you know, leave me some feedback on what to do. I mean, at this point, if he sees this video, which I hope he does, because I'm an irate customer at this point, I'm upset about my purchase. He could choose to completely ignore me, block me from IG, you know, or whatever he's gonna do, he's gonna do, or he can choose to do the right thing and see that I'm pissed off about this whole thing, and he'll want to make it right immediately. Like, oh fuck, Rome's mad, he's blowing up, you know, my spot. I need to fix this now. Which is what he should have been doing 4 months ago, instead of putting me on the back burner, making all these cool Liberty Walk cars. Meanwhile, you know, me and some of the other people are dealing with this trash fitment, and it's just not right. It's not right, and I'm upset about it. And I have a platform to talk about it to you guys and anybody who will listen, who's entertaining the idea of going with this company. So if you choose to go with him, that's up to you. Do what you want. This has been my experience with this company, getting these rims. And just know that this process for me is not over. I'm coming up on 1 year of rim ownership, or 1 year of a rim transaction, and it's not even finalized yet. I still have to get these barrels replaced, and I might out of pocket it myself, because it bothers me that much. And the person who made these rims is just not following their word and fixing it like they said they were going to. I mean, that's about all I have to say about it. I mean, like I said, you guys leave comments down below. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. And if you were me, what would you do? If you were me, be honest and just tell me straight, what would you do? I'm all about honesty. Give it to me straight in the comments, guys. I'm really looking for input here. But that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you guys watching, as always. Definitely stay tuned. We'll see where this goes. This journey with this car, with these wheels, is not over. So at some point, there'll be a conclusion to the rims. It's just not this video. And I hope it's soon, because tired of it, man. Tired of it. So I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, be sure to like this video, comment down below, let me know. Peace.